Now, over 200 carefully selected women gathered in Lagos over the weekend to participate in the inaugural conference of Flourish Africa, the brainchild of the Executive Vice Chairman of FAMFA Oil Limited, Mrs. Flourish Africa. The initiative, according to Mrs. Africa, is designed to transform and enrich the lives of women, both locally and internationally. The conference, with a theme inciting a movement of game changers, had various speakers who have distinguished themselves in their chosen careers, encouraging women to make the most of their abilities.
Pink is the predominant color of the day, and the all-female participants are forging a common front in strengthening the moral, intellectual and economic capacity of young women, as well as inspiring them to fulfill their potential. On the driver's seat of this initiative is Forbes' richest woman in Africa and Executive Vice Chairman, FAMFA Oil Limited, Mrs. Flourish Africa, who sets the tone for the Flourish Africa conference with a challenge to women to up their game.
I celebrate you all, especially because you are living witnesses to the making of history. Yes, because you are the first partakers of a movement that will revolutionize the world. And revolutionize the world, one woman at a time.
To make the conference a success, the convener enlists the support of women with proven wealth of experience as speakers. First is the keynote address on inciting a movement of game changers, delivered by the chairman of First Bank Nigeria Limited, Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika.
Never apologize for where you're coming from. Why? It is a story you have no control over. The place of your birth is not the place of your choice. It is the place of God's choice according to his purpose and plan for your life. So that you do not have control over. But what I will hold you accountable for is what you have control over.
Pushing the notch further is the Vice Chairman of Channels Media Group, Mrs. Shola Momo, whose speech centers on fearless leadership, asks women to fully engage and embrace their potential.
Show me your beauty, and I will show you my brain. Give me both, and you have my admiration. So women, it's not just pretty face, it's beauty and brain. I'd like to summarize with you and signpost some of the principles I've learned and imbibed in my journey. I have touched on some of them in the course of this presentation. And they are focus. You've heard it over and over and over today from other speakers, even before me. Education, knowledge, expertise, multitasking, technology, and integrity.
Various panelists, including Senator Daisy Danjuma, Mrs. Cecilia Akwa Umore, Google Country Director in Nigeria, Mrs. Juliet Ehimo Chiazo, and Uche Pedro of Bella, Niger, take on issues ranging from wealth building to financial literacy and social media and the woman.
That glass ceiling we talked about, it doesn't really exist. It only exists in our own minds.
The terrain may not be perfect, but if you push through, the reward will come.
As for the convener, Mrs. Alakija, the initiative is here to stay and the gains will be sustained.
There are so many who are hungry for this sort of thing, and it was just so obvious. And I felt that, well, I should be able to do something. I mean, the empowered women must empower others, and that's what we're doing here today. So it's going to be a movement that's a Flourish Africa movement that's starting in Nigeria, because charity begins at home, that has to move from Nigeria to Africa and from Africa to the rest of the world.
In the coming days, interactions on the Flourish Africa online platform are expected to blossom and reveal more opportunities and the much needed support that would give the African woman a new perspective. Chris Illems, Channels Television News.
More reactions continue to trail the ongoing probe into the pension scam allegations, which the Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Abubakar Malami, says has a syndicate with highly placed personalities as members. The Attorney General has been criticized for his role in the reinstatement and promotion of the former pensions boss, Mr. Abdulrasheed Maina, to the civil service. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Festus Keyamo, during a flagship political program, Sunday Politics, said the Attorney General did not act rightly.
Why was the Attorney General directing the Federal Civil Service Commission? He has no powers to direct anybody. This is the mistake all of us make in this country. Several agencies make this mistakes. They overrate their powers. The Senate committees, they do that all the time. They write to all kinds of people to come before them, even without their sitting formally, committees to come and explain certain things going on in MDAs. Taking over executive functions. The Attorney General has no powers to direct anybody in any ministry, not in the Ministry of Justice. All the Attorney General can do is to advise, give his advice on legal issues brought to him by other ministries. But we have attorneys general in this country writing to various ministries, telling them that he is directing. That's what he cannot direct anybody. Now, when the chips are down, you can see that he ran away from the issue that he was the one that directed his recall. Technically, the Attorney General is correct. He did not direct that he should be recalled. He only directed that he should give effect to the judgment.
To health matters now, the growing trend of drug abuse among women and youths is becoming increasingly worrisome to most Nigerians, including the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Sayad Abubakar. To this end, the Sultan is challenging the relevant authorities to do something about it, especially regarding the abuse of cough syrup among youths. He gave this challenge at the National Conference of the Society of Gynecology and Obstetrics of Nigeria in Sokoto.
Provision of quality healthcare service is key to maternal and newborn health. This is the focus of discussions at the 51st Annual National Conference of the Society of Gynecology and Obstetrics of Nigeria. The Sultan of Sokoto is leading several dignitaries to the conference, and he's worried about the growing threat of drug abuse in the country.
How can you use their offices as distinguished healthcare givers in this country to checkmate the rising terrible incident of drug abuse within our women, especially even married women in our country? It's a very, very alarming thing. How do we partner with you to checkmate this very terrible trend? Can we enforce the ban of even producing all these cough drops, cough syrups, which definitely, as your doctors, do they really cure coughs?
Poor health facilities, persistent industrial action and drug abuse are some of the issues that have plagued the nation's health sector. However, the governors of Sokoto and Yobe states used the occasion to explain their efforts to address the health challenges in their states.
We declared a state of emergency in the health sector and took far-reaching steps to address the problems militating against healthcare delivery, such as prevalence of vaccine-preventable diseases like polio, malaria, measles, cerebral meningitis, and prevalence of infant and maternal mortality, among others.
I will ask you, especially the professionals that are here, to continue to partner with us in ensuring that we deliver quality health services to our people.
Highlights of the event were the conferment of an honorary status membership on Governor Ibrahim Gaidam of Yobe State and the unveiling of a society's journal by Governor Aminu Tambuwal.
Society of Gynecology.
Meanwhile, the Kano state government has embarked on a series of upgrades in the health sector. The governor of the state, Abdullahi Ganduje, as well as the Minister of Health, Dr. Isaac Adewale, made multiple visits to health centers across the state, upgrading old and inaugurating new medical centers.
The provision of quality healthcare system is highly essential for any serving government to its people. Here in Kano State, northwest Nigeria, the government has initiated a series of changes in the health sector. These include the distribution of healthcare facilities to selected general and specialist hospitals, as well as some primary healthcare centers across the 44 local government areas of the state. in Dawakin Tofa area, the Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje and the Minister of Health Isaac Adewale inaugurate the upgraded state-of-the-art General Hospital. According to Governor Ganduje, the improvement of health centers in the state will curtail the increase in cases of medical-related travels abroad.
What we are doing here is to reduce what we call visiting outside hospitals looking for medication. It will be manned also with very, very senior and dedicated doctors that will man the hospital so that you don't need to go abroad in order to get medication.
And for the Health Minister, the provision of primary health care endears the government to the hearts of the people faster and better than any other means.
Your Excellency, I'm extremely delighted because you have keyed in into the universal health agenda of Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, who is keen on taking health to our people. As I've said elsewhere, Your Excellency, when you deliver health to our people, they will vote for you. You do not have to give them money on the election day. When you are giving money on the election day, it is too late. But when you deliver health, particularly primary health care, which is closest to them, they will appreciate.
The government's provision and upgrade of health centers in Kano State could be a revolution in the sector, with a view to providing improved health care to the people at zero cost.
When the News at 10 returns, find out what pop culture has to do with acrylic and wool and canvas. That's an art review tonight. Stay with us.